working our way down here. Close the class as you would a normal intro class. We know how to close this class, right? It's the same close. You bring out books, you show them how it works, you have them write down 3 ailments in their home, you walk around, right? Okay? You get them a wellness consult when they sign up, and you have them host a class. It's the exact same class. Nothing changes. So, let's go to a couple of questions here. What if you can't do classes live? Then you do them online. Just know the enrollment rates are drastically higher when the classes are live. What if people don't live in the same area? Then you use an online class. Or you have smaller little classes and you travel to a bunch of different areas. Turn the page. What if people don't come to the live class for their prize? Well, what would you do? I just wouldn't give it to them. You're like, to get prizes, you have to come to the class. All right, I have had so much success with studies, but I will tell you this, there is a very broad range of how many people sign up, and that is because the devil is in the details with this one. This one, you have to stick to the system. 1 or 2 things you change and you have very, very, very different sign-up rates. Now, I will tell you this, that little lady, 65 years old, Danka. She did so well. Do you know what she simply said? Oh, I just called him every 2 days. Said you called everybody in your group, all 20 people, you called every 2 days, the entire study. Yep. I just checked up with them every 2 days. Just 10 people a day, and I would just, every other day, I just call them every 2 days and make sure they're doing okay. And if they weren't, I just helped them out. That's what she did, the whole 2-week study. Now my question to you is this. When's the last time you signed up 19 people like she did? Would it be worth you following up with 20 people every 2 days? For you to sign up 19 people? That is what she did to get such incredible results. Are we clear? She got like, how many contacts is that? Like 10? You know? Not touches, Patrick, contacts. 10, right? 10 contacts. Now, I'm a little afraid, let me tell you why, because we need to move on, because I know you guys want to get to a lot of stuff here. I really can only take 5 questions. Every time I say, and then it's 20, and then I had to cut something out from today just because of a lot of the time that we've lost. I literally can only take 5 questions. So if you have, I'm serious, only 5. You gotta go to the thing. Okay, there's one. Somebody walking up. No, nobody's walking up. You've actually got to go to the mics. Okay, stop. There's way more than 5 already. Just go to the mics. There's no mics. What happened to the mics? Okay, we're done. Nope, we're done. There's 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're done. Everybody else just ask. Diamond Dashers. That's why Diamond Dashers are here. Diamond Dashers know how to do this. Yay, Diamond Dashers. Okay, come on up. Oh, now they're bringing the mics out. You are 5 on each of them. Yep. Yeah, great. Next.
Did they tell you?
What did you say?
Good. So, sorry, when do you invite them to the Facebook group? What do you
guys think? It's in here. When do you invite them to the Facebook group? Yep.
So it's when they have good experience, or even they have bad experience.
Oh, now there is a good question. No, usually it's the second day after you follow up with them, you can put them in the Facebook group. Because sometimes, hold on, let me answer. Do you want an answer? Sometimes it'll take a week or so to actually get a good experience, and you don't want them wasting all of that information. You want them to still be learning all the videos and stuff. So day 2, when you follow up.
What if they have bad experience?
You can still put them in there. I mean, if they have a really bad experience and they're like, I don't ever want to see you again, then I wouldn't put them in there. Yeah, but if they have a bad experience, you simply say, oh, that's obviously not the right oil for you, and let me drop off it, right? Isn't that what you guys would do? That's exactly what you would do if they had a bad experience, the exact same way.
If you could just be a little bit clear on if we're doing this study, and let's just say we're going to go with the digestion, because you said that's one of the really popular well-to-do. How would I know when to give somebody a sample, where you give samples and then follow up and then invite them to a class, versus a study? Like they both seem to be work, but how would you differentiate?
If you're not running a study with your team that way, then you're not going to put them into a study, right?
Right. So,
Do you want an answer?
yeah.
Okay. So if you're not running a study with your team, let's say it's February, and you're not doing a study, you just sample. You're just sampling, just regular, just everyone that you meet. But if in March you guys decide that you're going to run a study, then you go out and find everyone that you know and you just do the study process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It just depends on if you're running a study right then or not. Does that answer your question, or was it more deep?
I think I'm a little bit confused as to when we would just give out samples, like you dropping them off. Did you use it? Is that different than what we would be doing with the study?
Okay, I'm going to say, I actually answered your question, but I'm going to say it in a different way so it's clear.
Okay.
If you don't have a study going on right then, if
Right.
you don't have a planned study going on with your team, okay, then you would do the exact regular sampling process.
Okay. So
'Cause
unless
there
it's a
is-
big group, don't do the study.
No, that's not what I said. I'm going to come hug you. Okay, let's say, for example, what's your rank? Your goal. Let's say that you have a plan that you're going to go platinum in March, okay?
Sounds good.
That sounds good. Okay, she's like, this is good.
Now I'm listening.
Now her brain is turned on. All right, platinum in March, and you say, okay, in March, we're going to run this big study. So in March, anyone that you talk to, or your team that's involved in the study talk to, you're going to go through this method with the study method. Every time, so instead of dropping off a sample or whatever, you're going to invite them to, you're going to call them up, we have this awesome study, it's so amazing, come to this live class, and that's where you give them the stuff. In January and February, what are you going to do? Sampling. The regular sampling process, right? Okay. But in March, you have actually a planned study, and so you go into this. Does that make sense?
Yes, completely.
Awesome! Okay. I think my new name should be Patience. My Korea team does not agree. All right.
Hi.
Yeah.
So in each of these studies, you have several oils listed for digestion, Digest-Zen, lemon, and peppermint. Am I giving them all of those or just Digest-Zen?
That's a very good question. You give them all
Give
of
them
them.
all. Okay.
Yep, because you're going to go through, in the study you get more than one actually, that's why it's more expensive too. So they get to take them home all of them, and then they figure out, like, you show them how to use them all.
Okay.
Yep, all of them, so it's more expensive. Good
That's what I
question.
thought. Thank
That's
you.
not that clear in that, huh?
Yep.
Good question.
Yep. Go ahead.
Hi.
If, hypothetically, a gal didn't have several builders on her team that she could count on to do a study with her, but she was eager to do one, would it be tweaking or would it be improvising to have a live class initially and also broadcast it online, and would that drastically affect the results? And two-part, would it be better
Oh, you're one of those. You ask like multiple questions at once.
for
Okay, let's start with the first one.
Yes, okay.
So now I've already forgotten. What was the first question?
Having a live class where you also go live.
Okay, so basically your question first is it okay to have a live class where you broadcast it live? And you have some people online following along in the study and some people live. Okay, number one, the people online following along in the study, you're gonna have a 15 to 30%.
Doesn't make a difference if you're doing it live and like the energy.
Well, they're not live, the ones that are online. Does that make sense?
If they're watching live, it doesn't, okay.
No, like they're not there in the class. Does that make sense? So if you want to take that risk of the people that are going online, and I would never tell anybody that's coming to a live class, oh, there's an option to go online, because then
just
almost
out of
everybody
state.
will go online, and then you cut your sign up rates down. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
I'm in out of state.
yeah.
So, but would
What do
it
you mean
be,
you meant out of state?
like if I have people out of state?
Right, but that would be
want
online,
it
right?
Online, but my local people would come
Right,
in person.
but I'm just being super clear to everyone else.
Yes.
That you would never let the two know.
Right.
Like you would
That's-
never let the live know
that
that
they
that
could have
even,
had.
right, that's even a possibility because a lot of them,
I could have just come in my pajamas.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But, and I wouldn't talk very much at the class that there's something happening online because guess what they'll opt to do for the
Next
ending
time,
class?
if there is one. So maybe do them separate and take your chances on the out-of-state live one.
Um,
Or my question is, would it be worthwhile patience is not my virtue either, but to wait until I have more people and I can do, just do like a bigger live, local.
What I would do is I would do a separate online class,
Just let it
and
be.
I would do a live class. Yeah.
There'll be
So
some
there were,
side
there were little teeny pockets in Slovakia where the 3 people came to a live class.
So it's
4
not
people
like
came to a live class.
having the 100.
No. It was just Bratislava happened to be like a really big, a really big, yeah. Hey, are you guys dying for more questions? Like, let me first see how far behind. You're like, no. Let me see how far behind schedule we are really quick. Hold on, just a second. Yeah, we're already 12 minutes over. Are we good? Can we move on? All right. Wow. Woo. Are you guys dying over there for a question? Is that the deal? Is that why you raised your hand? No? You have Diamond Dashers with you. They can totally help you. They know it. They know what's going on. Okay. How many of you want to try studies? So it's a really, this is what I call, honestly, the lowest common denominator. There's different things you can run, different programs that you can run that take different skill sets, okay? This is the lowest common denominator. Anyone can run a study. Anyone can get involved in a study. It's the easiest way to get outside your warm market, okay? Or to get people that have said no to you. How many of you have thought, dang, I have so many people that I sampled incorrectly, right? Those are great people to call back and say, okay, I have the coolest thing that's going on. We're running a study and I thought of you. Does this make sense? This is a great way of like going back in and getting them involved. All right, moving on. Oh, actually, no, hold on. We still have a little bit more time. This is what we're going to do right now. A bunch of you had questions about hostesses. Can we talk about that right now? All right. So this process with sampling, actually, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to say something about it, and then I'm going to have you come up and ask